We need campaign finance reform.
For the Oscars.
You cannot get a nomination. Back in the day, my first nomination, the studio didn't even know how I got it. They were like, we ran one ad for supporting actor, and you got, I found out from my service that I got nominated. That was for Atlantic City. That
You
was
mean you
like,
didn't wake up, they called you and the...
No, it was when you actually had a person that was your service, not your phone. And they said, oh, by the way, congratulations. And I was like, what for? And they said, oh, you got nominated for Atlantic City. And I called up the studio and I said, did I get nominated? They said, yeah, we don't know how that happened. And that could never happen again because the campaigns are so enormous. You have to start on the road. It's as long as a presidential campaign. You're out, so you have to have money to go to the festivals. You have to have money to go to you know, Palm Springs, where all the older people in the Academy are. You have to be able to have the lunches. You have to, you know, I mean, this goes on. People have to be available for months, and someone has to pay for that. Also, you have to have a Harvey Weinstein or somebody behind you. There's no way that you're going to be able to spring forward to get a nomination unless you're in a film that has that kind of studio power behind it, that has that individual power behind it. And also, how about, you know, the supporting actress who actually has a lead in the movie, but they put her in that category. There's no, or male, but most of the time it's female, because that's a category that's easier to get a nomination in, or supposedly, or not as crowded. But you know, you look at what came down there are actors that are doing amazing things in films that just do not have the money behind them to run a campaign. And so that has something to do with it, too. There's so many amazing performances that don't stand a shot. You know, so that's why if you get a nomination, it's fabulous, but you have to understand, you know, it's a subjective, lucky thing that you were in a movie that had somebody that was willing to spend millions of dollars. And now there's like how many, you know, there should be an award ceremony for the award ceremonies. There's like, what, how many award ceremonies are there? There's like, they go on forever.
You're right, it starts in September and it goes through February. It's like half the year. And then as soon as they're over, people are already starting to guess about what's happening the following year.
You know, halfway through, you can see who's going to be nominated because, again, it's the same kind of thing. It's very hard for there to be any kind of surprise. And that's, you know, one of the reasons festivals are so important is that it gives an opportunity for smaller films that don't have that much money, if they manage to get into a festival, to get some kind of excitement, to get some kind of support also from the studio, which is maybe like, you know, it only cost a few $1 million to make. They're not going to really go out to support it unless they think that something's going to come back. It's just business. You know, the Academy is ageist and racist, just like Hollywood, but part of it is also how do you change the system so that you know, there's a chance for these other films to even be viewed or have screenings, even to have a PR person. You have to pay, you have to get a good PR person that's going to arrange all this stuff. These little films don't have that built into their budget, you know?
So what would the solution be, do you think? It would be actual campaign finance reform, or the Academy like came in and cleaned things up?
First, we should start with campaign finance reform for the presidency, and then we'll go campaign finance reform for the trickle down for Hollywood. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm stupid. I don't know. I just know that that's part of the problem, is that. And so it's not very shocking that, you know, the nominations are what they are. It's not very shocking.